when I'm with my friend up on top rec, there's teenagers there and I think like, oh, they're going to cause trouble, because one of the teenagers stole my football and I'll like give it me back and he says no, and I said please, and they said no, just get lost.
I feel like sometimes really not safe because people go out drinking and like if you're married it can split your relationship up. And if your children are there watching, it gets the children really mad and upset. I can't really go anywhere without my mum because every time I do go out, I'm really scared because sometimes people follow me around. I always see like gangs outside my house, and when they've done, they always leave empty beer cans on my wall. I always see glass outside of my house. There was this man who was drunk and police came and helped him, and his wife came out at house, she was drunk as well, and police had to arrest him. So when I'm walking to the shop sometimes he comes and he like sometimes falls into me and I don't say up to him because I don't know what he might do. People should stop shouting at young people because when they hurt their feelings they might try and run away and somebody might get them and they might think they're really nice at first and go in the car and then take them to the house for the tea and then end up like making them take drugs and stuff. People get frightened because there's been loads of murders on my street. There were murder and I got scared.
If I ever do become a mum, I want my children to like be safe around Worsbrough Common if I'm still living here. If that happens then it'll be good for me because I'll feel safe that they're safe.
We're trying to build better relationships between all people, whether that's children, adults, parents, grandparents, decision makers within the community. We're trying to bring them all together to make them aware of what is going on in these young people's minds so that we can build better relationships and provide a better community for all our young people.
Was it better when you were younger or was it worse?
You go home from school and you walk the streets a bit out.
So you felt safe enough to go out onto the streets to play?
Yeah. You could leave your door unlocked.
Yes, you could.
And walk across the road, and when a man had come and you put money on the table, you walk in, pick it up and walk back out.
It was very good in my days because a lot of people worked then. They were tired when they came home, they hadn't time to go in the streets fighting and arguing. And there weren't very many cars about when I was a young girl either, so there was no cars to steal, so there was no car thieving going on. That's a lot of years.
Very often get a lot of older people saying it was always better in my day. Actually, it wasn't. It wasn't.
How do you know?
Barnsley's never been as good as it is now.
If you've seen anything and you're not happy about it and you think it's wrong, advise your parents actually that they can phone South Yorkshire Police. We can only work on information, and the more information that South Yorkshire Police are given, then the more time we can spend looking at these issues.
I haven't had any dealings with these young people, but I'm sure I probably have with some of the older brothers and sisters, and maybe even unfortunately the mums and dads. And it does sadden me to hear how such young people can have so many worries about safety and feeling unhappy about the community that they live in.
There've been graffiti on walls and everything on new houses, and I don't think that's very kind because like they wasted all their time building houses and then people are just like ruining it all.
This car went up street and then it came back down street and skidded and nearly crashed, and I think he was drunk.
When I'm walking around, I see the mum shouting at the children, like, horrible, and I don't like it. So if I have children, I'm gonna shout to be like doing something wrong, but I'm gonna be kind to them. Some can be like a bad role model, but some can be good because, like, mums and dads, they like teach your kids to be good and be patient and tolerate. Like, if somebody torments them, to keep the anger and not like lash out and punch them. And like some people, they just like leave them to what they do and let them look after the sons when they're about 3 or 4.
People will be quite shocked at that, and there are actually things that we can do to help families and adults to actually play with you better and talk to you better. And the first thing really is for people to get that message directly from you, because we tell people that, but it's much, much better coming from you.
What did you just mention for animal?
Activity 2. I watched it last night.
You see
It's scary as hell.
I wouldn't lay.
I frightened myself watching that.
Lay in bed and
Why have you
watch
seen
anything
it?
like that.
Yeah, but I'm old enough to watch it.
She got dragged out at baby room. Scary as hell.
How does it make you feel when you're watching these films? It's really scary and gory and people are dying and...
A bit scared, but feels like it's going to happen to me. A bit scared.
So you should tell your mum and dad that you don't want to watch them.
Well,
Tell them not to scare them.
I told him to buy it because I like paranormal films.
Through this project, we've learnt a lot about how children are feeling about their community, and a lot of it is based around fear and actually the media.
The internet and television and everything have brought all the world's problems into the street. And sometimes it's really important, isn't it, to remember to talk to the people in the street about their problems. That for me was, when I was growing up, it was the fact that the street where I lived was the place where we understood each other's problems. They're always going to be living around here, always going to be bringing things into our community. So if we don't educate these and get these doing what they should and shouldn't be doing, what future we got? Sometimes big issues come to decision makers and we have our ideas about what will make it better, but that's not necessarily right because we're not you and we're not living where you are.
It also helps you to say that this is what we think would sort it out, because it's easy for me to sit in this office, but I'm not in Worsbrough, and I might think, well, we'll try this or we'll try that, when actually you know better than I do, because you live there.
When I'm in the park, sometimes I do feel safe, and sometimes I don't feel safe. When I feel safe, it's because other people are there, but when I'm on my own, I feel a bit worried.
Usually in newspapers and news, they always have like bad stuff and they don't put good stuff in, and if your mum and your dad were talking to you about a murder that's been going on, you might think, oh, that might happen to me. I live on the street where the pub is and like loads of people come past and sometimes they fall over into the street and cars like have to stop for them and help them onto the road. And every time that happens, my mum looks out at the window and she says, never come like that. If you don't get on and there's a child next door and you're shouting and swearing right out loud, it might really affect you. Like, you must think about children more than yourselves.
Sometimes adults shout at children once. I was playing in my old garden and this girl, she said over at fence, she said, stop being so noisy.
Near our school, lots of people drop litter and we've got this big field and there's a lot of litter in it, and every time I walk up drive I think, why would somebody want to litter a school, because it's not very nice to see.
For me children, I'd like them to grow up in a safe life, not like a nasty life like people are growing up in.
This is great what you're doing here today, and we want lots more of this. So really well done to everybody for being part of this and asking you questions and being on video and standing up for Worsbrough Common.
The children's voice is really important within the community because they are the next generation, and we need to make people aware that this is what they want, this is how they feel, so that we can provide them with a better environment, so that they can then provide their children with a better place to live.